been warned about all the challenges.
You don't understand what they're saying.
I feel like I'm just floating.
Math class. I want to be a math teacher.
When it just, I thought I did well, but it was the story.
I just can't wait. I'm ready to go over there.
It's pretty exciting though, because this is the next chapter of your life, and I'm just really I'm excited, like an energizing bunny.
I want to be a coach.
I have like a bunch of different things that I want to do. So.
I want to be an architect, and being an architect, you need education also. And I remember that I was so happy to come that I came 5 months before I had to.
Just since I was young, I was always been first. I just love to learn. So
I always wanted to go to college, but I've had kids early, so I had to, put them first.
So I get a better job and take care of my family and show my little baby boy. If I can do it, he can do it too when he gets older.
I decided just to do it this year. I just couldn't, hold myself back anymore.
Really, nobody in my family ever graduated from college, so it's like I'm gonna be the first. Like, I plan to just have my own business. I don't plan on to be working until I'm like 60 years old. I plan to retire when I'm like 40, 45 at the latest. That's my goal.
I had no idea what to do, to be honest. Like they said, it was very confusing. I got lost very easily.
I found that trying to navigate their webpage is like trying to figure out a calculus problem when you have no clue what calculus is.
But even though I had a map, the buildings just, they didn't have like room numbers, and there were like 3 floors to each building.
Gotta come back at least 30 times before financial aid, registration. You gotta come back a lot of times.
They do, I think they have some sort of orientation here. Like I said, I didn't really go.
I just ended up sitting in a room, and then she just started giving people papers. I'm like, where am I at? And then she says, oh, you're in orientation. I said, oh, I accidentally fell in orientation. So I got that out the way on accident.
I've always been good in every subject I ever taken, so it was like a shock to me that I was like right on the borderline, but at the same time a disappointment because I wasn't expecting to fail to my standards.
When I first took it, I kind of was bummed out because I tested, the bottom English, bottom math, thinking, wow, I got to start at the bottom.
I had to say, I'll probably be in school here probably like 3 or 4 years before I even get to my nursing program.
Unfortunately, they weren't as much help as I would hope. I mean, they registered me for the classes, but they didn't really give me a direction that maybe I could, go in. They just signed me up for in general courses, and he didn't talk to me anything about making a plan. That was a personal choice.
When you go in there, they're just gonna do the basics, like set you up with the basic classes, but they're not gonna show you, oh, you need to take these classes to get towards your major. Then you might end up scheduling classes that you don't necessarily need.
Our government class, we got the same class for government, and we sit there and we're just like, because it's just current events.
Like, man, let's speed this up.
It's just all current events, man. It feels like it goes by so slow.
You get the all the information she's going over. She gives it to you on a CD, but then she's gonna read it pretty much verbatim off the slide anyway. So it's like, come on, like tell us a side note or something that's not on the PowerPoint slide. I can read this at home.
Where they have a set speed, I guess.
Yeah, and as soon as you learn it, you can't even retain it because you got to go to 3 more chapters.
And if you don't understand what they're saying in that set speed, then you can kiss it to a W. So.
Different for me, like to go from not studying at all or not reading to like having to read and having to study and learning. Like that's a difficult process. Or high school didn't prepare me in a way for that.
I had been warned about all the challenges of college, and I believed that things were going to be a lot different, a lot harder, but I still didn't prepare, and I'm kind of having trouble because of it, just keeping up with my work and stuff.
They just keep telling you, like, if you ask them your grade, and they might tell you, but you might not understand it. They tell you, like, you need to do this work. You like, oh, okay. So, what's my grade? Yeah. I
feel like I'm just floating, man. I'm not doing any greater than I should. I don't think. Maybe so. But,
You got 1,700 out of 1,900. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
And then you just have to find out at the end of the semester, and then you'll be surprised.
When I tell them, I don't know how to do this, I need help.
Some of it could be just because of pride.
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes.
I think that's what most of it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you just sit there and say, oh, I don't need help.
I can do this.
I can do this. And you get home and you're just confused. I'm like, man, I should have went.
I like to push myself mentally. I like to listen in and learn new things, and I know that's what college is all about. They teach me stuff high school won't, and I'm all about learning new things. I love education, so.
I have to admit I was nervous too, like any incoming freshman, but it's just, you just got to see it as, just another day at school. So you just adapt to it. I mean, I did. It's easy. It's just a lot of homework. I don't like homework.
I mean, school's all right. I like it, but it's just, it's not for everybody. And, I guess I'm just one of those people that it's not for. Maybe sometime later on in life, I'll pick it back up again. But, it is what it is.
So grateful that they had that test.
If I want to be somebody and be successful, they need to know that video, so that kind of stuff. Keeps me thinking here, because actually it helps me a lot.
And we said orientation should be required, so that way people can get a better understanding of what their classes are. And when they first time out here, they won't have to look for this classroom.
I can understand how it would be more convenient sometimes to take an online orientation, but really having more personal orientation with a tour so that you can understand where the buildings are, what the lettering system is, and how the college works in general, we thought that would be very important.
It gave me an opportunity to already meet new people, because that was also one of the things I was worried about, was like I didn't know anyone here. So I actually already made new friends.
They just pretty much showed you around. They introduced a couple of teachers and then sort of suggested how you were gonna be treated in the college by a lot of the professors. And to be honest, they were pretty accurate on everybody's nice and everybody's willing to help you.
But I'm glad I did it because I learned a lot of stuff that I did not know. And as soon as I walked out of orientation, I knew exactly what I needed to go do.
It was exciting.
I liked it,
fun.
yeah.
I was like, orientation, hey, I'm almost there.
And you eat?
Almost there.
You get some pop, snacks?
No, I ain't get no snacks.
Oh, you got treated.
I think it should be mandatory that every student has an advisor.
When new students first come in, I think they could have like a mandatory one-on-one sit-down with the counselor or something to really discuss in detail their degree plan and stuff.
So I think it would be good if everyone had somebody they could talk to that is school related and can help you in your personal and your educational life.
It's always good to learn, but when we have a goal, it's like, what progress am I making toward that goal?
Because overall, everything else was kind of like being in the DMV. You have to sign something here and then go over here and sign something, and then everywhere else. But once you sat down with the counselor, it was very helpful.
College is different from high school. You have to manage your time different, and I'm barely starting to get a hold of that.
It's a college success class.
It was actually really useful.
Since I've never been to college before, so I figured it could be helpful. So I took the class.
It just teaches you like time management and setting your goals, like what you want to do further in your education.
Like study skills, writing, getting research. It's like everything like built into like one class, basically.
Like all the services the school has, that's actually kind of how I learned the most about them, was through that class.
And her classes were really tough. It was a lot of work.
She tells you, you're doing good and you could do better, you're a good student. She makes you want to learn and do better in her class.
Having that base of knowledge that I have after making it through her class, it's just indispensable.
He makes me think
hard, like so much about this certain situations, about current events and stuff. And I learned a lot. I mean, he keeps me thinking, you know.
The atmosphere is just great. Everybody knows what's going on and everybody's interested and everybody's active, and the teacher is treating us like, you know, like it's not just another lecture. It's actually class and you can make it fun.
He gave us a riddle and he put us in groups. And putting us in groups actually brings us a little bit closer together as a class. And that's exactly how it went. We all clicked right away. We weren't afraid to talk to each other, and then we'd have a group discussion. That's one thing we always do. We have a group discussion and people aren't afraid to open up.
The way she was enthusiastic about the subject she was teaching made you feel enthusiastic to be there and learn everything that she had to say.
I'm learning more and more, and I think, you know, if I'm not in that class, what am I going to miss?
Well, thankfully AMP has an SI, and what she does is she just is a student who previously took the class, aced it, and knows this professor, this class, and you get together once a week, twice a week sometimes, and you go over the material that's been discussed in class. It has really saved me big time.
It's really, really like a community. And, you know, the old saying is it takes a village to raise a child. Everybody in the village is helping out. And it goes from, you know, deans, president, down to career services, people in student life.
I'm looking to get my PhD in psychology.
Teaching at a high school somewhere.
Getting my PhD, being a doctor. I would really love to be in the medical field.
They need to remember that they hold this person's futures in their hands, and this person's future in their hands, this person's future in their hands, 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 in their hands.
Wow, did any of those student experiences sound familiar to you? We can confirm some things that we already knew, challenge some previously held notions, or be inspired or dismayed by the student experiences that we saw. Although most students are ultimately successful in navigating the first year of college, many are not, and as we saw, the stats are sobering. Did you know that 44% of those enrolled in two-year colleges don't return for their second year? At Essex, 51% don't return. Only 25% of the students who attend a public two-year institution obtain a degree. For Essex, our graduation rate has increased from 5% to 8%. We know that students from low socioeconomic levels are less likely to return for their second year and are less likely to graduate after even 4 years. Moreover, a great deal of research has concluded that minority students, excluding Asians, persist at significantly lower rates than their white counterparts, even after taking into account confounding variables such as socioeconomic status and academic preparation. These factoids beg the question, what are we going to do about it to be more effective in serving our students? As a start, let's talk about ideas. The heart of this convocation is a series of professional development sessions which will offer faculty, staff, and administrators strategies intended to connect, enroll, and engage students with the objective of helping them to increase their persistence in attaining their academic and career goals. I'm Alvin Williams, the Acting Dean of STEM and Health Sciences, and I have the pleasure of introducing our Vice President and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Edwin L. Knox. Dr. Knox's vision for a professional development event has guided the planning for this year's convocation, focusing on the first year college experience. He's a goal-oriented leader with a proven track record of more than 30 years of experience across diverse industries and has served Essex since November 2013 in his current capacity. He was also a former captain in the U.S. Marines. Dr. Knox oversees all academic programs, all continuing education programs, the high school initiative, online learning resource technologies, and student services. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Chief Academic Officer and Vice President of the college, Dr. Edwin Knox. Simple 5.
Well, welcome back. Welcome to the fall 2014 Convocation. It's very nice to see everybody back for the president and the administration. All of the planning that we've done over the summer months, we're certainly looking to see how that plays out. To those of the faculty who have been away and those who have been away that are not on faculty, we want to welcome you back. We certainly hope that you are refreshed and that you are reinvigorated and you are ready to take on the challenges that we have for this particular academic year. Last year's Convocation, we had the pleasure of gathering to actually celebrate our 45 years in existence. We talked about the founding of the college, how we came to be located where we are. We talked about those administrators, faculty, and staff members that had major impact on what we had done in the past and what we are doing today. We talked about our students and what they went and where they went beyond the walls of this institution and what they were accomplishing in the world as a great testament to what we do here at the institution. We also talked about the partnerships with our community, with business, political, and social organizations that help sort of drive what we do as an institution, as well as drive how we serve them and how they serve us. And more importantly, we established ourselves in the academy by doing partnerships with other institutions of higher learning. We welcomed our new president, Dr. Gail Gibson, her new administrators, staff, and faculty who joined us to move the college further in developing the human capital of managing the world. This year's Convocation. It speaks to where we are today and where we must now go to meet the mission of ECC. The college and its infrastructure are expanding and improving. You'll see it transform before your eyes. We are hiring administrators, staff, and faculty with the new skills to complement those of us already here. We are training and developing students and graduates who will be change agents through the 21st and 22nd century. We are building partnerships with business, political, and social organizations, as well as continuing to strengthen our relationships with those institutions within the academy. We must become an intentional college. Today, we must act with great intentions to ensure that we continue to build on our successes as well as address identified challenges. This convocation is designed to do just that. We must assess the outcome of services we provide to those with whom we interact internally and externally. We must address teaching and learning college-wide. Whether you are an administrator or staff, you must continue to learn. Whether you are faculty working with our students, you too must continue to learn. This convocation is about professional development, designed to help Essex in achieving student success, which is our core mission. Again, I welcome you to the convocation. However, before I leave, I would like to take this opportunity to personally thank Dean Alvin Williams, whom I charge with the planning of this year's convocation. I want you to take note that he is a dedicated faculty member of more than 20 plus years and now an administrator. He exercised great care in amassing a wonderful group of thought leaders within the academy who will focus on topics that we are currently addressing here at this college, including college-wide integration and collaboration of student success. Dr. Regina Lewis will speak to the hidden rules of college success. Remediation. For English, we have Dr. Gallagher. will describe accelerated models of developmental writing. For math, we have the Dr. Treisman will be speaking to the changing landscape of developmental mathematics. And then we have student services. Ms. Valerie Kizzle will offer ideas on how we may restructure student services to support today's students and providing professional development 24 hours a day. And then as we look at our technology integration, we have Dr. Marshall, who will talk about the lessons Thomas Edison State College has learned in creating an online learning community. I appreciate Dr. Williams' deliberateness in recommending speakers who have joined us today. My personal thank you to the speakers for coming and joining us today. Dr. Williams could not have done it alone. Therefore, I wish to thank the Convocation Committee for all the planning and work that they have put into preparing for today and the success of this convocation. My sincere gratitude to each of you. I would like to say to you as participants today, please engage, be involved, be open, be reflective, because what you hear today for the next couple of hours should serve us in making the institution better. Without further delay, it is indeed a pleasure to introduce our president, Dr. Gail Gibson. She is a highly committed leader with a clear vision of how we continue to move Essex toward an even brighter future. Since her arrival here at ECC, and I was supposed to say Essex, that's been beat in my head, Essex, she has proven herself to be a dedicated steward of the college, working through tough issues necessary to keep the college on an even keel. She is also the biggest champion and ambassador for the college, never missing an opportunity to share the good news with anyone who would listen about the quality of education occurring within these great walls. She has 20 years in higher education, 20 plus years in higher education. She has published on issues related to student success. She is a data-driven leader. Dr. Gail Gibson serves as our 7th president, and she will share with you our collective successes for the past year, as well as her vision, goals, and objectives for the coming year. Without delay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our leader, Dr. Gail Gibson.